Now, Israel has the highest IVF rate per capita in the world and offers state-funded IVF for women up to 45. Non-medical sex selection is allowed, as well as post-mortem sperm retrieval of fallen soldiers. This makes Israel not just a hub for innovation, but also a live ethical laboratory. For more on this, I'm now joined by Dr. Shirley Saar, Head of Innovation at Schneider Children's Medical Center, which is the only pediatric innovation hub here in Israel, focusing on startups and health tech companies to develop, validate, and pilot technology. Dr. Shirley Saar, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Your Schneider focuses more on the pediatric tech scene. So what do you think is the most important thing that's going on right now?
Well, the most exciting thing is timing. With everything that's happening with the new data analysis and AI abilities and the new advanced therapies, genetic therapies, it really opened a window of this childhood window, making pet tech the scene where we can really not only cure today's children, but actually create the future's healthy adults. So it's a very exciting time to lead this ecosystem.
And what are you working on right now at Schneider's Medical Center that you're most excited about?
Well, we're working on a lot of things that are very exciting. But I think that just to give a few examples, we just published that we are doing a research where newborn babies with neonatal jaundice that usually their welcome into the world is getting a lot of blood tests once every few hours. And we're working on this with an external startup on this ability to really just exchange all of these blood tests, all of this pain, parents going back and forth from home to the clinics with a simple app, taking a simple photograph of the baby's eyes, and detecting the level of bilirubin, which is how we detect jaundice in these babies. So there's just one example, but the point of having this whole new ecosystem of pediatric startups coming to the hospital, to our clinical field, and really accelerating their go-to-market, which in the market is the bedside, improving and pushing pediatric innovation and pediatric medicine forward. So we are very excited about this growing ecosystem and having more and more validation processes and research at Schneider's, and from them bringing them into the pediatric field.
So how do you balance ethics and innovation? Are there certain red lines where you also think, okay, we cannot even go there to test it out because it would be ethically wrong to do so?
Of course, primarily we're physicians, we're doctors, me included, and the first and the foremost thing in front of our eyes are the children. They're our compass. We're doing everything for their safety, for their benefit. So that's our primary goal. And every case, case by case, we look at the innovation that comes towards us. There is a very, notoriously very hard and complicated regulation when it comes to children, and it's good and important. But luckily at Schneider's, and that's one of our main advantages, that's our bread and butter. We host more than a few hundred research projects yearly, and they're all the clinical trials and all the research projects that we do are all in children. So this is our bread and butter. We are not afraid from this regulation. We know exactly how to navigate within it and make sure that the children are safe, but without, we continue pushing forward new technologies, new improvements, new treatments into the clinical field.
This field has developed quite a bit, I can imagine, over the past few years. So for the future, where do you think we're going?
So, Schneider's is the only pediatric standalone hospital in Israel. So maybe it's a bit strange coming from me, but hopefully in the future, pediatric hospitals would be smaller because children will be healthier as pediatric is going towards a more predictive, proactive phase. So we'll keep the children healthier. And also because we are able, and more so able, to keep the children at home where they belong, wearing wearables and monitored from afar, using both traditional equipment and leveraging AI for more automation and being able to control their safely at home where they can be with their families. So the hospital of tomorrow will probably be smaller, way more technology, and leveraging this amazing data that we have. Schneider is part of Clalit Health Services, and we have longitudinal data for 30 years from before birth to adulthood. And the new advances in AI allow us to really leverage that into the clinical field, into day-to-day medicine, creating it more proactive, predictive, and tailored.
So very briefly, because we're running out of time, but very briefly, do you really think that genetical diseases, for instance, can be eradicated amongst young children, so that at some point in this world we wouldn't have diseases like this anymore?
So we already see it happening. There are already examples of genetic diseases being cured. I wouldn't say eradicated. That's a bit extreme. There's never black and white in medicine. But this is something that has already become a reality. And we are looking into companies doing various types of this genetic treatments. And the future looks bright.
Amazing. Dr. Shirley Saar, Head of Innovation at Schneider Children's Medical Center. Thank you very much for being with us today.